How you going? I'm just going to be running you through my everyday carry EDC. So this is a kit that I just throw in my backpack. It's not designed for survival in the outdoors or anything like that. This is designed for urban carry to the office when we're going away for a weekend, that kind of thing, just to make sure I've got all the things that I need. So firstly, this case is an old hard drive case that I had lying around. So I just decided to use that rather than spending a lot of money on a purpose-built thing. This seemed to do the job quite well. So let's open it up and have a look, see what we've got. So everything's packed in here quite tightly. I wanted to make sure that nothing's going to rattle around and shake around, so got that all settled. So first, we've got the requirement these days is a surgical mask tucked into a little bag. That's something you need to be carrying, unfortunately. Got a few tissues. Next, I have a microfiber lens cleaning cloth. I use that mostly for cameras, but also for watches, phone screens, those kind of things. Next, this is a little spork that it's just a nice little fold-up one that I bought from Decathlon, I believe. This was about $5. Most of the things in this kit are things that I had lying around, so I didn't have to go out and spend a lot of money on. Next, I have just some little squishy foam earplugs. I've spent a lot of time at concerts and unfortunately didn't wear earplugs when I was younger, so my hearing isn't what it should be nowadays, so they're always useful to have, or if you're just having trouble sleeping or something like that. Next, just a tube of super glue. This is one of those ones where you get 5 or 10 of them for a few dollars. They're resealable, but they tend to be more single-use things. One of them's always helpful. Tucked on the outside here, I have a few safety pins, always useful if something isn't doing what it should do. Got a big one and a little one. Yeah, just useful things. And I also have a little tool for SIM card ejection on a mobile phone, because I can never find one of them when I need it. So if I just have one of these in this kit, then I know where it is at all times. Next, in here I have the ubiquitous Bic lighter. I have some elastic bands wrapped around that. They're always useful, and I've got about 3 feet or so of gaff tape. Always useful, sticking anything to anything, and it's not a permanent solution, which is quite often a good thing. The super glue will hold things together permanently. That'll hold things together temporarily. Next, in the tools, I have the Gerber shard. I used to use this thing all the time when I worked in a practical job. Just really useful. Flat screwdrivers on this end, you got Phillips screwdriver on this end, and then really good solid pry bar and a bottle opener. That lived in my pocket and used it all the time. For the multi-tool, I have the Gerber dime. It's got a really good solid set of pliers on it. Also, lots of little useful tools. So there is a set of tweezers on it, which they're quite small, but for getting splinters out of that kind of thing, they'd be quite useful. Next, we have this. I use it for opening boxes mostly, but I'm sure it has some other kind of official use. On here we have a decent blade. It doesn't lock in place, but it's a decent mechanism, so it won't sort of pop when you're trying to use it. On the other side we have there's a little bit of a file in there. It's not a great file, but it'll do the job in a pinch. And this is also for fine Phillips head screws. There is also a flat screwdriver there, and the really useful tool on these is a little set of scissors. They'll chop through quite well. That's probably the most used tool on this multi-tool set. Next, I have a little torch. So this is a Olight 1R2. This is chargeable by micro USB, and yeah, it's got your dull light, and then it's got quite a bright light. I find that does the job really well. Next, we have power, and this is again one of the most used things in the kit. So this is the Pixie Mini, 5000 milliamps in this. Yeah, so that I'll get probably most of a full charge of a phone on this. It's just quite simply USB-C charge and USB-A out. So yeah, very useful. To go with that, I have a wall charger. This was the most compact one I could find for Australian plugs. If anyone knows of any more compact, that would be great. Please let me know in the comments. To go with them, I have nice solid USB-C cable, and this power bank will also do PD, power delivery, so that will work with cameras, and so I've got a good USB-C cable for that. I also have this little foldy up micro USB, which there's still a lot of things that still use that, and I've also got a lightning adapter on that should I need to charge a iPhone. Next we have some string. This is just relatively cheap builder's string. You wouldn't want to rock climb with it, but it'll hold most things together. That's always useful. Also got a little magnet. This is quite a solid little magnet. You can tie it to the string to get your keys out of a drain or something like that. It will also work as a little hook on a metallic surface, so you can just hook something on that. It wouldn't hold a bag, but it'll hold some things. This was a tip I got from I don't know who it was, a photography YouTuber. It's just some sort of elastic strap that I've put a little toggle on. Really good for bundling up cables. And next, a set of fingernail clippers. I looked into the really compact ones, but figured a normal set would be fine and it'll fit in my kit, so there's no reason to be spending a bunch more money on that. Got a guitar plectrum because most guitarists always carry a plectrum. Next, I have some cable ties. These are always useful to have. Yeah, just got a bundle of those, a couple of different sizes, and help in there if I need them. Also, on the technology side of things, I have just a little USB stick. This one is the dual one, so it has USB-C on one end and USB-A on the other, so you can use it in a phone or a computer. Quite useful to have. I think that's 64 gig. They cost nothing nowadays. So I also threw in this. It's a little packet of silica gel that came out of a random purchase I made. This, I find it useful to have in there just in case any moisture gets in there or anything. It's going to stop that wrecking stuff in the kit. So yeah, good one to have. Next, I have this little, so this was a pipette thing that I filled up with hand sanitizer and used the trick that YouTubers use. You squeeze off the end with some pliers and then melt the end with a lighter. So yeah, I've got a couple of servings of hand sanitizer there if needed. Again, another thing that's quite useful these days in the situation that we're in. Clipped here, I have a little carabiner. Again, clipping things to things, always useful to have. Next, I just have a little Moleskine notebook. This was one that I just had sitting around on a shelf, and to go with that I have a mini Sharpie, and this is just a tiny little pen that I'm not actually sure where I got it. I think it came from a bookshop or somewhere like that years ago, but it still works. That does the job quite well. It's quite compact, but it's still comfortable enough to hold in the hand to write with. Next, I have sewing kit. So in here it's got a bunch of different colors of cotton already threaded onto a bunch of needles, so you can just pick the color that you need. I think there's another safety pin in there. There's also a couple of white and a couple of black buttons, because you never know when you're going to lose a button on your shirt, and that's always useful to have. I've used these in the past. Always good to have. And next, I have my medical kit. So this is quite a simple thing. I've got $20 tucked in the back of that. We don't spend a lot of cash these days, but it's good to have if you need it. In the medical kit, I simply just have some paracetamol, some ibuprofen, a few band-aids, and some alcohol wipes, good for sanitizing skin or space. And lastly, I have just this little piece of paper here that has on the other side my name, email address and phone number on there, just in case I lose the kit, someone finds it, someone finds my backpack and finds that in there, whatever. It just means that I'm not going to lose, that they can get it back to me if they are the type of honest person that would do that type of thing. So yeah, this is my kit. I've found it quite useful so far. I'm continually adding things to it if I think of them, but the aim of it was to create something that I didn't have to spend a lot of money on. Most of these things I already had, and yeah, I just throw it in my backpack when I head away. So let me know if you've got any questions, and yeah, thanks for watching.